This is Pre-Market Prep. I'm Brianna Valesky here with my co-host Joel L. Khan, and we are joined by Jerremy Newsome this morning. He's the CEO of Real Life Trading. Jerremy is a 27-year-old trader, CEO of Real Life. He loves technical analysis and was inspired to trade and invest by the movie Forrest Gump. Jerremy, TGIF, thanks for joining us on Pre-Market Prep today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, Brianna. I do want to say really quick, as a shout out to you, you do a lot of behind the scenes work, and you make this all very, very simple. So thanks, Brianna, for everything you do for me. I appreciate it.
Hallelujah, she does. She has to put up with me, Jeremy. So, I mean, you can ask my wife and daughters about that. I get a little grumpy at times. Okay, go ahead, Brianna.
Thank you, Jerry. Now I'm all flattered and off my game, but thank you so much. Let's talk earnings season. What's on your radar this morning, or what have you been following the most closely? A lot of great stories, but what's at the top of your list?
I know. There's so many things. You guys ready? I've been working on this pun for like 3 days. So
I'm
Amazon is going to be my prime focus today.
Yes. That's so good. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Let's talk Amazon.
Unbelievable. Unreal. I mean, so here's the deal. So as you guys know, I'm more of a technical trader for sure. Mm-hmm. But I did look at a little bit of the fundamental data for Amazon because I was baffled how it was up 100 points. 100 points. 20%. That's insane. So anyways, they were expecting a loss of like 14 cents a share, and they actually had a gain, I believe, of 19 cents a share. So that was just sending people into frenzy. Yeah, and I've been saying for a while that I really do still think we're in a tech bubble, and I really think these markets are very, very similar to 1999 and 2000, with all of these IPOs coming out that are not profitable and all the tech stocks that are just so high with such high PE ratios. But regardless, Amazon, the way I'm going to play it with a 20% gap is similar how I played Google, very, very cautiously. I'm bullish on the gap, but I probably might wait an hour or 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours to see if I can get some type of buy on the 2 or 5 minute charts. But I might not play Amazon at all today, guys, honestly, because it's just so high. It could drop, but the candles before the gap should say to me that it's bullish, but it's just so high. It's almost at $600 a share. It's so high. So I don't think I'm going to trade Amazon. As crazy as that sounds, I think I might just back away from it today.
Well, that's good discipline, because I was we had some people in the chat. They were saying, well, where is there a buy in Amazon? And I'm thinking, well, the buy was yesterday's close, and
exactly.
And and also when I something like this, I take the position that, wow, if you had gone lotto style in any kind of these options, it closed at 482 and change. If you had the 500 calls, which were going for $16, they're definitely, you're getting paid now. But if you did the 520 calls, I don't know if they had even 550 calls listed, but you, especially if you're doing the weeklies, this is exactly what you wanted. Okay, so man, there's gonna be some. I don't think I could look. If I was going to trade this today, I would try and find a short point, and I think this would be one of those trades where you do a small lot and you say, okay, I'm risking 10 and I'm trying to make 20. I mean, that's really, or trying to make 30.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're totally right. I mean, that's honestly, that's probably one of the better strategies I've heard of on Amazon today. I mean, it's just going to be, like I said on Google, when Google gapped up, same time, I was just like, wow. I didn't trade Google that entire day, Joel, not once. So it's going to be a little bit tough to play this one.
All right, so I want to throw Apple at you here because, going with the Jerremy Newsome style of trading, Apple had the big down day. So Jerremy, going in his style, going with the Mo, were you looking to short Apple? Did you play it that way, or was that one thing about Apple? It did hit a good support level in the pre-market, and then it opened up at its bottom print. And I'm a big follower of the openings and the openings trade, so that's one thing that kept me off the short side. I didn't play it on the long side. How did you play Apple off earnings?
That's a really good question, and that's wow, that's a great strategy, man. You know your stuff, because you're totally right. I mean, that's exactly what I was looking at. I mean, as far as the short play, you're absolutely right. I was expecting to possibly go short down to like 120, 119, and then buy it, but it just never did. It never went down. I mean, as soon as it opened, bam, it's off. And so I was looking at it, I was like, all right, well, these are some serious bullish candles, some serious bullish volume. I did not anticipate it to be as a big day as it was on Wednesday, so I just simply got into a weekly credit spread, 122, 121 bull put spread expiring today. So as long as Apple doesn't get down below 122, I'll be happy. But that's really the only thing I played it on Wednesday, man. Kind of a little boring, but it was 8 cents, so that's an 8% return on a dollar margin for 3 days. It's not too bad. But I think Apple, man, very sideways over the next probably 3 to 4 months, truly. I mean, very iron condor territory. 119, 120, incredibly strong support. 133, 134, incredibly strong resistance. So long as it's going to stay in that channel probably for the next 3 or 4 months, I really would not be that surprised at all, honestly.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine that's real bullish it, and we go back and forth, and he's just looking at the numbers and saying, man, that just based on the iPhone sales, pent up demand for people renewing, this thing should be at easily 135 and 165, but and then I come and say, where's the catalyst? You just had earnings, and earnings is what moves stocks. Now, a lot had the big run up into earnings, so people got stuck. So unless the market just goes parabolic here, and it looks like, despite Amazon being up nearly 100, some other good reports, looks like we're falling back a little bit. To me, I think, you have to respect the trading range in it, and, until it does otherwise. And, boy, that one, I'll stay bullish until it takes out that 119.20 area. That was the pre-market.
Yep.
Yeah. What about a stock like Itek? Is that something that you get involved in? I mean, this thing is a wild child yesterday. Big run up, continuing to run up today. Do you have any rules as far as trading pharma stocks, or what? Is this something you get involved in, Itek?
I very, very rarely trade pharmaceuticals because, like you mentioned, they're just they're the wild child, right? An FDA, an approval here, a disapproval there, a bad judgment, a bad sale, a bad pill, a bad drug. It can affect it in all kinds of ways. I did have one trader, Julie, who actually texted me like midday, and she wanted to get in like about 10 for a day trade, actually. And so her analysis was spot on. I actually didn't get a chance to check out Itek until it was like at 14. I just didn't hear about it for some random reason. But regardless, up 193%. Today, is it going to continue? Probably a little bit. And if it's opening above the high of yesterday, which I think it is, the high of yesterday was, what was that, 1675. So right now it's like at 1805. So it probably will continue a little bit higher, and then it'll get a big, big upper shadow, and then there's going to be a little bit of a selling pressure. Again, that's just my guess, but I think there's going to be a pretty big selling pressure coming in later today. But bottom line, to answer your question, I very rarely trade pharmaceuticals, man, just because even though they do technical trades well, you could day trade them, but longer term, unless it's a very speculative trade, and you're like, all right, I'm willing to lose this 500. Yeah, that's really the only way to play farms, in my opinion. Most very, very few of the brand new ones are worth playing long term. But you got the Pfizers and Eli Lilly's and things like that. That's a different story. But these guys, man, that's the Wild West out there.
Right. So, I was going to ask you about Biogen, but I guess you're going in with earnings in a biotech, so I guess you wouldn't be. But you'd be out there shorting it, man. I thought, might the 338 level might hold, but that's down $54. Will you take a look at AT&T for us? Is that enough of a mover for you to trade? Trading up 86 cents on some good earnings at 34.75. Is that something that's in your wheelhouse?
Yeah, believe it or not, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint. What's another one? Trying to think of the other mobile companies, but Nokia. I don't trade telecom at all, Joe. I know this is a weird thing. This is just a personality thing of mine, but I don't like cell phone companies. They're always bad to me. Like, they're just, like, customer service-wise, bill-wise, reception-wise. Like, I'm impressed. I'm actually talking to you right now on Sprint. It's kind of blowing my mind. So I very, very rarely trade, but when I do, I day trade them. And AT&T gapping up to where it is pretty bullish. There's a really good chance I might lose a wager on AT&T. I'll go ahead and tell you what this wager is. I made a wager with my students and some friends back on the 23rd of June when it had that big gap. It's kind of random. I was like, oh, man, this thing is gone. So I want you guys to know, this is what I'm probably going to be wrong on. But I said it's going to go and hit 3842 before the end of 2015. And if it doesn't, I'm going to go 3 days with 0 cell phone access. Like, I'm just going to turn my cell phone off for 3 days, which is, I know.
Wait,
like deserted island style.
That's like hard enough for any normal, modern day person, but especially like, can you do that to like trade and invest? Can you just shut off your phone?
I don't know. It's going to be hard.
Oh my gosh.
What about
That's so hard. You're insane. You're insane.
Yeah.
And the people
I thought I was going to be right. So, I don't know. 3842 by the end of 2015. I mean, we got time. I do like the gap. This gap's going to help that wager out a little bit, but I would at least have a bullish perspective on Joel as of today. Yesterday's candle is a big black selling candle, and you're definitely clearing a little bit of pivot. I'd be slightly bullish on AT&T, but my analysis is bullish longer term on it.
Even though you hate the companies. And the people that, if it does hit 3843, they have to do the same thing as well? They have to go 3 days, or what are they?
No, it's mostly just for me.
Okay, that's a great bet.
Too nice to make someone else do that.
Man,
I'm a bad wager maker, man. I'm very bad at wagering.
What a market.
I take all the risk.
You're a market faker, not a market maker, man. You have no upside. Jeremy, that doesn't sound like you at all. Let's get into some of the other wild childs of the week here.
I wanna talk to Jeremy about Google. He mentioned that he was thinking about playing Netflix, like he said. Google. How was Google for you, Jeremy?
So as you guys know, I've been bullish ever since we chatted. I love Google long term. Always have. Will for a very, very while. I mean, why not? It's Google, right? It's when a company becomes an adjective. I think that's one of my rules for companies. If your company becomes an adjective or a pronoun.
No,
yeah,
you don't,
exactly.
Well, I never say. Oh, well, no, tweet, but the name of the company.
It's a verb.
You don't say I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Twitter something. I guess you do say you're
gonna
tweet
it,
something.
yeah.
But you say you're gonna Google something when you're just gonna look it up. Like, that doesn't even mean you're gonna actually use Google. Yeah. That means you're just gonna search it online.
And when you want to find news and information,
when your company reaches that status. I mean, that's a real deal.
Yes.
So anyway,
yes.
To talk about what I think it's going to do, you have a lot of buying candles. You have your chart up. You have a lot of green bullish candles gapping. It gapped up. So you have a lot of people who are looking to sell Google because all those buyers are profitable. It's gapping up into uncharted territory. Everyone's like, what's this going to do? I think this is going to look very similar to Amazon, actually. Amazon's last gap, which might be very similar to what it's going to do now. I'm looking for Google to pull back to maybe about 650, 640 max. I don't really think it's going to break 640. I'd be pretty surprised if it does. If it does, I'll just sit on the sidelines for a little bit. But anyway, I'm expecting it to trade down to about 650, 640, and then I'm going to look to play the balance because that gap breaking out of a 2.5 year distribution phase. Stock's been trading sideways, broke out of a huge, huge channel. Everyone's locking in profits right now, and then at some point, my thought process would be, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh man, Google's pulling back finally," because I think personally, Google's going to go to 1,000. Truly, probably before next. I mean, at least a year. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So,
a guarantee.
All right. What do you want to? What? Just a losing bet for you. If it doesn't go to 1,000, then how about you don't eat for a week?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I'm on the paleo diet right now, apparently, which was not my idea. But yeah, I got challenged to do the paleo diet, which is like the caveman diet. You can only eat things that you could find in the earth. Dude, I'm starving. I look like a very skinny guy.
You are a skinny guy. What are you going on a diet for?
That was my girlfriend's idea. She wanted to do it, and I was like, oh, man. I'll support you. Well, I'll support you.
Aww, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I haven't had any chocolate, and it's horrible.
No.
All right, back to stocks here. One that I'm kind of entangled in here, LifeLock. If you would have been short that thing the day after, you would have gotten run over. Big red candle, one green candle, one red candle here. Is this something you've been getting involved in at all?
LifeLock, man. This is the first time this has come across my radar since you just mentioned it, honestly. I'm kind of surprised by that sell-off because I'm a big proponent of cybersecurity, and what I mean by that is I think that's a ETF, the ETF hack, HACK. It's a cybersecurity ETF. I think cybersecurity is going to become a more and more important issue over the next 2 to 3 years as everything starts becoming your toaster is going to start having internet access soon. It's going to become important to have really solid cybersecurity. So I personally think that that's going to be something that likely will continue in the future. And will be a good thing. But as of right now, LifeLock, that sell-off, I mean, it's up right now. I think we let this trade sideways and look for a short around 10 or 10.50 because, yeah, you're totally right, man. That was a huge break with massive volume, and earnings apparently right around the corner. So I think, did they get leaked or something? Is that why?
No. FTC investigation. They tried to settle something with the FTC, and it's not over a huge amount, but they couldn't settle, so they're going to court. So that's it. All right.
Gotcha.
Just wanted to get your take. We've been on the line with Jerremy Newsome. He's the CEO of reallifetrading.com. He also, I'm going to ask you next time about your Brazilian jiu-jitsu that you've been doing since you were 16. So
yeah, sure, man.
Okay. All right, Jerremy. We'll let you get ready for the Open. Great having you on. As always, we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Jerremy.
Thanks, guys. You rock. You're amazing. I'll see you later. Have a great weekend, you too.
You too.
Okay.